Hi everybody, my name is Ian Vargo and welcome to another episode of The Sounds of Springfield. Today we explore how The Simpsons and its creators have been critical of Donald Trump. And for any Trump supporters that are simply too thin-skinned to make it through today's episode, I've got a parting message for you.
You stupid.
Before we explore the relationship between The Simpsons and Trump, it's worth looking at how they've roasted the non-convicted felon presidents before him. If you want to skip forward to the Trump stuff, it starts at around 4 minutes and 45 seconds. In 1990, Barbara Bush, wife of then-President George H.W. Bush, called The Simpsons the dumbest thing she'd ever seen, and this actually inspired the show's writers to pen a letter to the White House as Marge Simpson.
If we're the dumbest thing you ever saw, Washington must be a good deal different than what they teach me at the current events group at the church.
Amazingly, Barbara responded within a month, asking for forgiveness for a loose tongue, and even complimenting the Simpson family, calling Homer handsome. Overall, a somewhat wholesome conclusion to the spat. That is, until Bush himself said this.
We are going to keep on trying to strengthen the American family to make American families a lot more like the Waltons and a lot less like the Simpsons.
The show repurposed the clip almost immediately in a short, with Bart stating,
"Hey, we're just like the Waltons. We're praying for an end to the Depression, too."
Years later, the show poked fun at the Bushes again via Two Bad Neighbors, which is one of my favorite episodes. It's filled with quotable moments,
Fine and dandy like sour candy,
hilarious visual gags, and honestly paints Barbara in a very wholesome light, as she develops a pretty sweet relationship with Bart as a sort of parody of Martha from Dennis the Menace. The episode doesn't go all that hard on Bush Sr., voiced by Harry Shearer, and doesn't really critique his policies or job as president, and honestly makes Homer and Bart out to be the main instigators. Annoyingly, Trump unintentionally ruined one of the most obscure jokes ever told in The Simpsons from this very episode. Bart gets spanked by Bush before returning to the Simpsons' home to share the news. Grandpa quips,
"Big deal! When I was a pup, we got spanked by presidents till the cows came home. Grover Cleveland spanked me on 2 non-consecutive occasions."
This was a reference to the fact that at the time, Cleveland was the only president to have held 2 non-consecutive terms. This interesting bit of trivia and a deep-cut joke was rendered expired when Trump was elected for his second term in 2024.
Kill me. Kill me.
This episode concludes with an appearance by former President Gerald Ford, who was voiced by Dan Castellaneta. Homer and Jerry, as he wants to be called, hit it off immediately, and honestly seem like kindred spirits. The Simpsons' golden age coincided with the Bill Clinton presidency, and so he made numerous appearances on the show, voiced by several different actors.
Hey, Clinton, get back to work.
Like me.
He was featured prominently in Citizen Kang from Treehouse of Horror 7, where he and his opponent from the 1996 election, Bob Dole, are duplicated and impersonated by Kang and Kodos. Despite airing almost 30 years ago, some of the jokes are still relevant today.
Abortions for some, miniature American flags for others.
Other jabs at Clinton are playful but pointed.
That's Slick Willie for you, always with the smooth talk.
Beyond that, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden don't get made fun of in any meaningful way. Their names are mentioned and they make appearances of sorts, but it's nothing too potent. Aside from presidents, The Simpsons has historically done a good job of handing out critiques to both major political parties, with my favorite lampooning occurring in Bart Gets an Elephant, when Stampy barges his way through both parties' conventions. Have a look. The Simpsons often portrays Mayor Quimby, a Democrat, as a corrupt womanizer who seems to actively resent Springfield and its citizens.
I run this town. You're just a bunch of low-income nobodies.
Election in November.
What? Again? This stupid country.
In Sideshow Bob Roberts, the titular character, who was appropriately voiced by Trump supporter and whatever this is, Kelsey Grammer, admits to resorting to voter fraud to win the mayoral election, before stating,
"You need me, Springfield. Your guilty conscience may force you to vote Democratic, but deep down inside you secretly long for a cold-hearted Republican to lower taxes, brutalize criminals, and rule you like a king."
Speaking of wannabe kings, this brings us to Trump, who was first referenced by The Simpsons in the year 2000 episode Bart to the Future, which predicted that the successful businessman cosplayer would eventually become president.
As you know, know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
When asked about that line, showrunner Mike Scully said it was just kind of a fill-in-the-blank joke. Writer Mike Reese added, "Who would be the dumbest person we could have?" Ouch. Dan Groening, writer of the episode, said it was a warning to America, before adding, and it just seemed like the logical last stop before hitting bottom. It was pitched because it was consistent with the vision of America going insane. From here on out, Trump shows up almost exclusively in shorts released by The Simpsons, the first of which is Trump-tastic Voyage from season 25, which, contrary to what you may have read, did not predict that fateful descent down the escalator, as he had already announced his candidacy by then. They released another short, Donald Trump's First 100 Days in Office, in 2017, mocking Trump's sparse accomplishments, his obsession with Fox News, and blatant corruption as he puts his own daughter on the Supreme Court. Beyond the shorts, the show has abstained from mocking Trump heavily in episodes, but it's clear that the show's writers and creator Matt Groening are not fans. Recently at Comic-Con, Groening had some choice words to say about Trump and how he relates to the show's end, without explicitly naming him. Groening stated, "We're going to keep going. We're going to go until somebody dies." He goes on, "When you know who dies, The Simpsons predicts that there will be dancing in the streets. Except President J.D. Vance will ban dancing."
Everybody get naked. Come on, don't be stuck up. It's going to be great.
While I personally hope to never experience a President Vance, it would make for one heck of a couch gag. The Simpsons has long functioned as a satirical lens on American culture, with countless episodes critiquing greed, consumerism, anti-intellectualism, and political corruption, the very qualities that would later come to define Donald Trump's rise to power. And while the show's humor can be enjoyed by anyone, it's hard to miss that if you proudly support the man best known for being orange, the yellow folks in Springfield are probably laughing at you and not with you. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click subscribe. And if you have ideas for future episodes of The Sounds of Springfield, get in touch or leave them in the comments beneath.